We're creating a entire generation of weak keyboard warriors. We're going to talk about that in today's episode. Hey, what's up, my fearless networking friend? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to talk about this little issue, of creating this entirely new generation of what I call weak keyboard warriors. Now, here's the thing, okay? So I get it. I totally get it. You know, we as human beings want to take the path of least resistance. We want to take the easy road. I wish life was easy. I wish I could just get up every day and not have to do anything, and millions of dollars came in and everything was just beautiful and simple and there was never a problem. But the truth is, life's hard. And being in a business, any business, including network marketing, it's hard. It's hard work. But here's the thing that I see that's going on. And honestly, I was at Rob Sperry's mastermind this last week on Kauai. We talked about this. I'm seriously concerned that we're creating this generation of these weak keyboard warriors. And let me explain what I mean by that. So, you know, when I started in network marketing, a lot of years ago, how do we grow the business? Well, we grew the business by talking to people. And how did we do that? Well, we had to, use a landline telephone or sit down in a coffee shop or, sit down with them. There was no social media. There was no texting. There was no cell phones. There was none of that stuff. Okay. So we had to communicate in that manner. Now, if we look at the premise or the basis of what network marketing is all about, network marketing, in fact, this is interesting. I've been asked this question a lot. Geez, Todd, you've been in network marketing for forever. Like, how has network marketing changed? It must have changed so much in all the years that you've been in it. And honestly, in my opinion, network marketing has changed very little. Okay, how the network marketing as a business model is really just, hey, I found a cool product or service or products or services that I can get behind, and I decide to go sign up with that company and represent those products or services, sell them, and build a team around, whatever it is that we're talking about here, whatever those products are, okay? The model of business, the way we do things in network marketing hasn't changed, okay? It hasn't changed at all. It's always, okay, find this cool product or this thing. All right, I see that. That makes sense for me. I got some results on that product. Boy, I can get behind that business. That's awesome. I can make some money by selling this product and then building a team of other people that sell the product. That has never changed. That's the way. That's the definition of network marketing. Okay, so, but what has changed is how we disseminate information, okay? How we're able to connect with people. Way back in the day, it was like, okay, coffee shop meetings, drawing circles on a napkin in a coffee shop, in-home meetings, PBRs, biz ops, whatever, hotel meetings, and then, the internet comes along and we could send an email to somebody and we could send cassette tapes out and VHS tapes and then CDs and DVDs and then streaming video, and then capture pages. So the things that we use have changed, but the idea behind network marketing hasn't really changed at all. Okay, so now look, don't take what I'm saying to you today as like I'm anti-tech. I love tech. I'm all over social media. I have all the high-tech gadgets you could ever want in my office. I love using tech. I love staying relevant with new technologies and things that are out there. But we also can't forget about the fundamental principles that lead us to success in network marketing. And so what I mean by this weak keyboard warrior generation is there are so many people that are like hiding behind their computer screen and hiding, by just typing away and thinking to themselves, I'm going to build a big booming network marketing sales business by, DMing and messaging and, just just shooting stuff out from my keyboard to these people that I'm connected with out there on planet Earth. And the reality is, yeah, you can make some sales, but you're not going to build culture. You're not going to build deep connections. You're not going to build loyalty. And you're most certainly not going to build that mandatory muscle that is needed in order for you to succeed, which is the ability to connect, the ability to communicate. There's so many people now that are like, I can't be in front of a group of people. I can't, and they do that because I understand, like this right here. For most people, like being on camera, staring into a camera lens and talking to a group of people. I mean, I know this is recorded, but if it was live, it would be even that much more scary because, oh my God, what if you screwed up in the middle of a, Facebook Live or something like that? And so what people do is they always, and this is like, water, for example, will follow the path of least resistance. People, human beings, follow the path of least resistance. And what they feel is the path of least resistance is this whole idea of like, hey, I can just, send messages out through my Facebook page or through Instagram, and I can go build a huge team that way. I'm not saying you can't make sales and that you can't make some connections there, but you don't have the degree of connection and loyalty that you have when you can sit, and have an actual real life conversation with somebody that, and that's missing. In fact, I mean, look, here's the deal. Because I've been around for so long, I've seen all the things come along, right? I'm not going to mention companies, but all the, online attraction marketing companies that have come along over the years, marketing tools, systems, capture pages, sales funnels, and these guys launched these companies, and early on, and I know this for a fact because I was involved in virtually every single one of these guys that launched these companies. They created these marketing tools and systems where you could just, do this attraction marketing thing and build a business on autopilot. And they've quickly found that the thing that was missing was, oh my gosh, we can't just send out email and have people signing up and that's all you need to do. And so they brought me in at all of their events to be the guy that would come in and say, hey man, look, as the lead comes in through your sales funnel, you need to pick up the phone and say, hey man, this is Todd Falcone. I'm giving you a call. You're just on my website inquiring about my business, wanted to connect with you, have a conversation with you. And, they would bring me in to talk to their audience on how to communicate to the leads, to the prospects that were coming in through their marketing systems. Because they really quickly came to the conclusion that, oh man, we really can't do this. We can't build a sustainable network marketing organization. Now we're not, that's interesting. Oftentimes today in network marketing, people use the term affiliate marketing, and there's definitely some similarity, but affiliate marketing for the most part is like a single tier or maybe a two-tier marketing structure. And in most cases, you make a sale, not all, but in most cases, you make a sale one time, you get paid for it, but you don't get paid on repeat or recurring purchases. Network marketing is different. You're paid on multiple levels of commissions. That's where the term multi-level marketing comes from. And you are paid on the monthly consumption or usage of those goods and services that people are buying from you that are in your organization. So in order for you to build a strong foundational team that has a degree of loyalty, they care for one another, they work well with one another, there has to be this ability to communicate. And I just, I see it all the time. So I see people who just are hanging out behind, it's like they're, I've got this huge computer screen right here. They're hiding behind their computer screen, and they're afraid to come up for air. They're afraid to see what is it like out there in the real world. And it's like you get atrophy. Like if you don't use muscle, there's something that occurs, it's called atrophy, where your muscles begin to disintegrate. So if you don't use it, you lose it. We've all heard that term. So something to think about is if you're really wanting to grow a successful network marketing organization, then you need to be thinking to yourself, okay, number one, I need to be able to create a connection with human beings look, I'm not saying we go back to, you got to go build your business belly to belly, do all the things that we did way back in the day and eliminate all the tech. I'm not saying that at all. Use the tech, use social media, use all the things that we have available to us, but don't forget to use the whole concept of like opening up your mouth, asking a question, listening to the person, reading their body language. If you happen to be in front of them, you can read their body language on a Zoom or a one-on-one. You can't really read body language if you're just on the phone. But what I've seen from a pretty good observational standpoint is there's just so many people, man, that just they're afraid to talk to people. And I get like that's not uncommon, by the way, just so you know, like people being afraid to talk to people existed long before the internet existed. And that all comes down to beliefs in the business model, beliefs in themselves, having, self-confidence, shifting and working on their mindset so they feel comfortable and confident talking to another person. But it's just become so easy for people to hide. And I see it all the time. And it was interesting because at this mastermind I was talking about it, and we had several people there that had been around for 30, 40 years in the network marketing profession. And everybody's like, yeah, I agree. Like, especially the people that have been around for a long time that have seen where we were and where we are today. And I love where we are today and the fact that we can, through, for example, Facebook or anything for that matter, I can connect with somebody clear on the other side of the globe. The reach that we have, the ability to network with a much larger audience did not exist. It was much harder to build back then. But my encouragement to you, okay, is obviously, if you're following me, you're involved in network marketing. If you're watching me on video or listening to me on my podcast, then you probably want to get better at doing network marketing. Here's my advice to you, okay? Use social media, use the internet, use all the things that we have available to us. But don't forget about the foundational, fundamental idea that this is a business where people are connecting with other human beings and that people are buying from individuals that they feel good about and that they are loyal to individuals that they have a relationship with, and that relationship needs to go beyond simply, back and forth on a DM or something like that. I mean, think about this for a second as well. Like, let's say your business costs, I don't know, $1,000 to get in. Are you likely, seriously, are you like okay, somebody DM'd me, hey, I got this thing. You don't know them. They're just a stranger. Maybe they're your Facebook quote friend, but they're really not your friend. They're a stranger that you're connected with and Facebook says you're friends. And you have this interaction only on social media, and then it comes down to making a $1,000 decision. Like, personally for me, I wouldn't be like, hey, here's my $1,000, I'm ready to join the business, and I haven't had some kind of conversation with you. So, and then it's not only the money, because the money is, that's a one-time deal, grant. Let's call it $1,000, okay? So that's a one-time thing, $1,000, okay, boom. But it's the devotion, the amount of time that I would be then dedicating to this new venture that would cause me to be like, wait a second, like you're asking, the $1,000 is a small ask. The bigger ask is taking a lot of this time from my life that I'm now going to devote to this thing. For me personally, I want to be connected to the individual that I'm working with. And you can do a minimal connection. You can start a conversation. You can begin something back and forth through, social media back and forth or texting or whatever. But if we're really going to have a business relationship, we need to talk. And so my advice to you is use all the tools, but don't forget about the importance of making sure that people on your team know how to connect with other human beings, okay? That they feel strong and they feel confident being able to have a conversation with someone, whether it's in a one-on-one situation or a one-to-a-few or one-to-many situation. You're going to have a much better, larger, flourishing organization when you have individuals that have these core skill sets. It's kind of like, I'll use an interesting example, but like I've met a handful of computer coders over the years, okay? And these are people that choose to do that for a living because they have the brain for it and they have the personality for it. and they generally don't like being around other people. Not all of them, but I am kind of stereotyping a little bit, but most computer coders are like, hey, I prefer to be alone. I prefer to be here with my computer and doing my thing. I don't want to talk to anybody. And when they're then put into a social environment, it's like this total weird, awkward, uncomfortable scenario that they find themselves in. And I've witnessed it. And it's like, oh my gosh, this guy is just completely socially inept. He can't even handle himself in a social environment. I've witnessed it firsthand. And so I know that's kind of going to the extreme. But what I'm saying is, if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't practice it, if you don't work on it, if you don't have your team working on it, working on their communication skills, working on their speaking skills, working on their connection skills, then because they're never flexing that muscle, they're not doing it, they're not going to feel comfortable doing it. And building a team in network marketing is more than making a sale, way more than making a sale. And so if you're going to build this big, booming, flourishing organization, then you have to have a team of people that can have make connections and be able to sit in a room and talk and not be like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking, I have to leave the room here. And there are people that are so lacking in social ability that once they get into that situation, they're so uncomfortable, they just bail. And you don't want people on your team like that. You want people to be able to walk into a room and say hello and connect over here. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be like this amazing extrovert. There are many, many, many very successful network marketers that are introverted. So, people say, oh, introverts don't make money in network marketing. That's a complete lie. They're just able to turn on that switch and then operate in that capacity. And then, when that meeting is done, they turn off the switch and they go be by themselves because that's what they prefer to do. But they can turn the switch on whenever they want. So the way you're going to do that is by training your people how to connect. So you can call me whatever you want. You can call me old school. Just don't call me old, all right? You can call me old school because to me, old school is foundational, fundamental principles, time-tested, proven things that work over and over again, and everything else is built on the foundation. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can take these great social skills that I have and I can apply it to Facebook. I can apply it to Instagram. I can apply it to sitting in here and doing a live video, for example. But again, I see it. It's not good. Okay. And I'll leave you with this. In fact. Okay. So we know that I don't know. I don't want to assume, but I can recall 2 very specific times in the last 8 years that Facebook basically broke, okay? Where they had a major outage. One of them, it was out all day. I think it was about 8 years ago. And there are people that in fact only build, in this case, I'll use this example, only build on Facebook. From the company owners all the way down to every distributor, the only game that company had in town, there's one company that in particular that I'm thinking about, the only game that they had at all was we build on Facebook. And so when Facebook was shut down, they were out of business. I called my buddy that day. I'm like, hey bro, what's up? He's like, dude, everybody's in a panic. I told him not to do this. This is a guy who's got all these foundational, fundamental skills, but he was in this company where all they taught, from corporate all the way down to the bottom, was just Facebook. And that company, for a day, was out of business. People were panicking. They're freaking out. He wasn't freaking out because he just shifted gears. I remember when I just closed my laptop and went on about my business. But, they got it was so bad that they were abusing the privilege of being on Facebook so much that if I were, let's say I was a close friend of yours, we're tight friends, not just these, random Facebook connections. We've connected back and forth thousands of times on Facebook Messenger. We're legitimately real friends. And I said, hey, I got this business that I'm doing. And I sent you a link to that particular domain from that company's, from that network marketing company's website. It wouldn't even, Facebook wouldn't even allow that name to be sent to another person. That's how much this company abused utilizing Facebook as a means of building their business. So, that's kind of that's an example of, somebody having something happen to them to the absolute extreme. But think about it. Do you really want to be out of business overnight because Facebook broke? And again, use Facebook, use Instagram, I don't use TikTok. You can use TikTok. You use whatever you want to use. But if everything went away today, here's another way of looking at it. If everything went away today, would you, like Facebook went away, Instagram, now I know they're never going to go away, but Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter or X, whatever, they all went away, and now you got to build a business without social media. Could you still be successful doing it? If the answer is no, then you're relying too heavily on these things that you have zero control over. If you ask me that question, you're like, hey, all that stuff disappeared, could you still be successful in business? I'd be like, hell yeah, absolutely I could. Because I've got well-rounded skills both on the fundamental side and then applying those fundamental principles to what I do on social media. So anyhow, if you're on my podcast, what's up, podcasters? If you're on my YouTube, appreciate you guys as well. All the details on this episode, other things to help you be successful in network marketing, right here, toddfalcone.com/episode 271. That's TODDFALCONE.com/episode 271. We'll see you next time. Have an amazing day.